To the another tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to talk about how to handle clicks in your recycle view item. Okay, as you know that in my previous lecture I was discussing about recycle view, how to add a recycle view to your Android layout. Okay, so now in this tutorial I'm gonna just talk about how to respond to click in your recycle view. Okay, so the good thing, let me repeat, the good thing about recycle view, it's pretty optimistic in the sense like it helps us to recycle the item view instead of creating the new one, and it handles infinite amount of items, right, in this way. So it's a better choice instead of a simple list view or grid view, right? So okay, and let's move further. So the first step in implementing our click interaction is to capture the click in your view holder level. Like, as you know that the view holder was pretty much responsible for creating or binding the view, right? So this was the first thing. And okay, so to maintain separation between our view holders and the adapter, we define a nested on-click listener interface in our view holder. It's just to maintain the separation between our view holder and adapter, because view holder is pretty much implemented by our adapter, right, as you can see here. And there will be also the adapter level, and which will be pretty much implemented by our recycle view implements the adapter, right? Okay, so we choose to define the interface within the view holder, because that is the listener, because that and the listener are tightly coupled. Okay, so the interface will in our case have only one function. Okay, so the purpose of this function is to inform the owner of the view holder about the clicks. The owner of the view holder is usually a fragment or an activity. In our case it's activity, the cat API activity, as you can see here. So since we know that the view holder can be reused, we can reuse the view holder. So right, so we know that it can be challenging to define it at constructor time in the way that it would tell us which item was clicked, since that item will be changed over time with the reuse, right? So this for this case, the item view holder can be reused. For this reason, we create a separate interface for the click interface for the view holder, and the separate click interface for the adapter. So in a while we'll be implementing that in our code. So but we will also be passing the listener that to the adapter that we will be creating in a while. The listener will be actually responsible for informing the owner of the adapter about the click. Okay, so actually it's like a nested listener interface, quite similar to what we implement also in the view holder. So as I told you, we'll be having a separate interface, click interface for the view holder, and also similarly as another click interface for the view holder. So it seems like it's a like duplication of the code to avoid the by reusing the same listener. That is not the it's not a great idea, because it will lead to tight coupling between the view holder and the adapter through the listener. Okay, so be careful about this very minute simple concept, but very interesting, and one of the most important concept that you have to understand. So usually, we try to create only a single interface instead for adapter and view holder, only one click interface. But it's not the case. It will lead to the tight coupling between the view holder and adapter. So it's always better to create a separate interface for the view holder and separate one for the adapter, because as I told you, the view holder can be reused multiple times for different when the items can also change, right? So what happens when you want your adapter to also report other events through the listener? So yeah, right, you would have to handle those events coming from the view holder, even though they will not actually be implemented in the view model, right? So finally, we'll be actually using we'll handle the click events, and we will try to show a pretty much dialog. whenever you click, right now it's not implemented. You see, whenever you click an item of our recycle view, we will try to show a dialog in our this tutorial, and I will show you the implementation, how to implementation in a good way the click listeners. Okay, so we will define the listeners and then pass it to our activity, like the first we define the listener in our activity, then we pass into the adapter, then we simultaneously to the view holder. So actually in reality, in MVVM architecture or in MVVM implementation, we will be notifying the view model of the click at this point instead. Okay, so the view model, we are not yet in the view like MVVM architecture implementation, but once I will be arriving there, I will be also coming up with the how to handle the click listeners in MVVM implementation. Okay, that's a separate thing. So for the moment, let's not okay, let's try to understand in detail the depth about the how it is really implemented in this current simpler architecture. And so view model would then update its state telling the view, so this will be the case when we will be implementing the view model. I will be discussing this in my next tutorial when I will be discussing view model. But let's now start about creating this simple click, let's handle the click of this recycle view item. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is obviously we have to go to our view holder and create the interface. Okay, so let's go to our cat view holder. Let me create the interface called on item click. Item click listener. Okay, on click pretty much we'll have a cat UI model, and this will be the interface that the listener will have to implement in order to register for click events in the individual cat items. So individual cat items is obviously a cat UI model. So let's update the cat view holder constructor to accept the click listener. So let me create another click. Let me also create a private listener. Okay, so so this is what we are. So at top of your bind cat view model function, so we'll try to add the following code that will pretty much intercept click and report them to the provided listener. So container view set on click listener will pretty much implement the click, and let's pass the item. It's a cat UI model. Okay, item, it's item, actually it's item click listener, guys, sorry, and it will be on click item. Okay, yes, so this is our this is the idea. It was pretty much item click listener. So now this will pretty much call this interface callback, right? Okay, so now we are done with the view model, not view model, sorry, view holder. Okay, so now what we have to do is the second step is go to the adapter and create the another interface. Okay, and then similarly we will also have to update our constructor to accept the necessary click on click listener, And similarly we'll be creating a, here I also have to pretty much pass the object, right? So I can pretty much pass also it's cat view holder. Actually on, actually we have to implement this one, right? So it's an item click listener. Let me go and implement this item click listener, and on click item, and yeah, what we have to do is we have to, so this on click item, we can actually, it will be also, you can return the on click listener on item click with the cat UI model. Okay, so whenever we pass the listener, we have to pass this item click to this back to this on click item on click listener. Okay, so after this is done, so what we have to do is we have to finally open our like activity. So our activity is get API activity, and then we have to pass the, as you can see, I have to pass the necessary click listener. So let me create a similar object on click listener, and okay, let me see, this is of the adapter, right? Click listener on item click. Okay, so let's go to our main activity, like our principal activity, and then okay, let's implement the item click. So on item click, what we have to do is we pretty much return the, so here actually what we do is we show our dialog, right? So let me create a simple function, a private function which show action dialog. What it does is it's a alert dialog builder this title. So our dialog is a cat selected, and message will be have selected cat bottom and actually, you know, when you select the positive bottom, you don't do anything, so pretty much you can just so so it will pretty much dismiss the dialog, you know. And okay, so let's do that, and let's so selection dialog, cat UI model. Okay, so yeah, by this so we'll be displaying all our dialog. uh, okay, let's see which all dialog I'm using. I'm using Android X app compact. Okay, app all dialog, so this is the right choice. Don't use the Android app all dialog, because app compact version is usually a better choice because it offers backward compatibility, you know. So this is the better choice because it offers the backward compatibility. Okay, so now let's run the application, and let's see if our click listener is perfect. So let me see. Yeah, actually you have selected a cat Fred. Okay, you have said cat Wilma. Okay, and you have selected cat Curious George. Okay, so yeah, this is how you implemented the simple click listener in your recycle view. And that's it, guys. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching this video. And if you like it, please do subscribe and click the bell button. And thank you very much. Catch you up in the next lecture.